Okay. And we had a technical difficulty, and Be Live said it had an internal error. And so this is actually part 2 for session 8 with Jodi Friedman for the Kickbutt Leadership Conference.
Right.
So, Miss Jodi, we were talking about the fact that I wanted everyone listening to understand the like the decisions that you made, because they were huge. You actually decided in your 50s, not in your 20s, not in your 30s. I mean, I want to make that point. You were already established in a career path, and you changed it midstream. And fast forward, because of all the changes and all the risk that you took doing that, now they're making a movie about you. I mean, that's like a huge thing that people need to understand. This devastating thing turned into actually a complete pivot, and then now look at you.
Yeah. Well, the movie is about you. I hear a little reverb. You hear that? You don't hear it. So basically 30 years of a career thinking that what am I going to do for the next 20 or 30 years when I'm not passionate about real estate? It gave me a lot on the side of financial, and I got to work with people and working with Reiki through real estate, because I would just use the tools and techniques to create the relationships with people. It was really amazing. It's like I felt like, not that I had a stacked deck for everybody, but that really is what it is, because I would send the energy of love to everybody in each transaction. I would just empower it with positivity and visualize and meditate and really see everything as happening the way that I would always ask for people's highest good. And I think that was really what allowed me to shift a career. I think I was to do something for over 30 years. If you don't really love it, my advice now to people is better change that. Don't stay in something that you don't love. And for me I was able to kind of step away. I had something beautiful happen where I didn't have to feel like I had to look at my finances every day. Things worked out for me so that I could make that, shift in direction and not have to always be thinking about the next dollar. Where is that going to come from? So I recommend that anybody who's looking to create a change in their lives, do it from the place of, well, I know where my next meal is coming from, because it's much harder. If I don't know if I would have been able to do it if I didn't have this other thing happen to allow and afford me to go forward. But I do think that it was from a lot of my prayers and thoughts that I can do this and I'm worthy of making this change. And I have a lot of lives to help out there that I can't really affect that way through real estate the way I wanted to.
Well, I think that what you're describing is what I call crystalline moments. Mm-hmm. Crystalline means sparkly or clear, so moments of clarity. So, and they always happen, like your divorce was a crystalline moment, and it can be a moment or it can be an event that goes over a long period of time. But by going through that, there's always a gift or opportunity. And for you found what your real true purpose is, and you were able to step into that. And when you do that, as you know, things start showing up in your life that will make it happen and help you to continue down the path of your true purpose. And so that I think you've got a beautiful story, and you're helping. I forget who it was. We were talking about this yesterday. We're talking about how when we find our life's purpose, there are people out there waiting for us to get there. So because we are meant to serve them, and they're just waiting for us to serve them. And for you, what you're doing with the changes in your life and the way that you help people with all of the work that you do, I mean, that is exactly, you're living your life's purpose.
Mhm. I even got to get hair. Did you notice? I had my short hair last week with Kim, and today I had to get this for the role. This is what I looked like when we started filming the movie a year ago, and then they were adding some cast members this year, so the movie isn't out yet. And I pretty much matched up the way I looked last year before I cut my hair. So I'm having fun. This is the day after the filming. I think tonight I'm going to go out in my hair, and I just thought boy, really feels good. I got hair.
So what is the name of the movie, and tell us a little bit more about it?
It's called Becoming the Keys, and I'm one of about 15 or 16 thought leaders that gets to share their story and be part of, it has a storyline helping some people who are, in having obstacles and just creating solutions. So that's basically, it's a very beautiful story about what people have gone through and how they've created different ways, and like through the odds they've made it to the other side. It's just a beautiful story. It's the third in a trilogy of Keys movies, and it's got some great actors in it. Michael Beckwith was in the last one. Don Miguel Ruiz and Dr. Joe Vitale are in this one, and John Gray was in the first one. John Assaraf, some of the great thought leaders in the metaphysical world are, on the Hay House. It's got that kind of people throughout these three movies. So I'm blessed to be in the third movie.
And it has the famous Jodi Friedman that I know.
Of course. Yes, it does.
So I'd like you to share why your hair went from long to short.
My India trip. Well, I went to India in when was it? It was March, April this year for 3 weeks to an ashram. And really my whole life I've been letting go of things to create my authentic self. And this was a real purging of the soul. There were 7 or 8 of us that shaved our head. It was a tradition of the group that I went with. Many of them do that. We're all asked if we want to do that. So I wasn't going to do it because I knew I was coming back to film. Didn't even think of, I didn't want to wear a wig. But when I was there and in the moment, it was the right thing to do. So I laid down and turned my head over, and a barber took a razor, and I watched all my long locks of hair fall onto a banana leaf. And then my partner walked me into the Ganges River, and we took the banana leaf with my hair, and it was very, I don't know what the word is, but to watch my hair go down the river, and it was a real letting go process. It was letting go of everything that is no longer me, that won't take me into the future me and the present me. And I would do it again, but then I would buy a wig right away. It was more for the letting go than anything else. And it really did what it was designed to do.
Wow.
So as a Kickbutt leader, how important do you think that is to be a better leader, to be letting go of things?
You have to. I don't think there's any way to become a leader than to let go of everything that does not fit anymore. I've had to let go of relationships with people. I let go of a career. I'm letting go of a lot of personal items in the house. I am always decluttering. First, I let the clutter build up, then I let it go, because you can't organize your mind when you don't have a clean home. And I've noticed that for myself. I'll let it get to a point, but as soon as it reaches the threshold, once it goes over the threshold, then I stop whatever I'm doing, put everything in the middle of a bed, and all chaos breaks out for a day. Because it's like when I look around, I've finally gotten my room to where I want it to be, because at the end of the day, we all do that, don't we? We throw things here and there. But if you see that all the time around you, and this is one of the issues that I had for over a year, was that I was just allowing it to be that way, and I couldn't get focused, and I didn't understand why all of a sudden there was a squirrel here and a shiny over there. But it's because that's what I had allowed my outer world to look like. But to get comfortable inside, I think you have to have an organized outside as well.
Well, and I think whenever you're doing that, like decluttering, it suddenly opens up things that you have no idea until you let go of those things. How much responsibility that you have for those things. Like I've actually been making that choice when I bring something new in. Do I really want to have responsibility over this? Like, do I really want to clean it and dust it and, take care of it? Or am I going to just put it up somewhere as clutter and I won't think about it, but it's always going to be in the back of my mind that's in a cabinet somewhere and I need to do something with it?
Well, I think it actually takes up space in your mind and doesn't allow you to get clear with what you're doing. So that's how I've been looking at it. And it's a process. I'm sure it's a process for you ladies too. I think it's a process for everyone. Sometimes we're better at it than others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. We should have a decluttering party like once a month and stay faithful with it. I really think when you put something on the schedule, because I actually do it like every 3 months, that I have it on my schedule to deal with things. And it's kind of funny. I don't need to go that long. That's what I'm saying.
Decluttering. Well, monthly decluttering. I think it's a great idea. We should all put it on the same day and then we'll say, so did you do yours?
Exactly.
Well, that's a very important part of really self-management, which if you're going to be a good Kickbutt leader, being organized is a key component, because what you're doing is you're clearing your mind. And that is also a part of being a leader. If you have a team, if you have a team of people, you have to declutter that team as well. And that helps the whole team come from a better space.
Absolutely.
And have that energy in their mind be free if there's people that need to be decluttered.
Well, let's declutter our people.
But your environment changes what you do. I think it changes your behavior. And it's kind of funny because you're still talking about two very simple things. You talked about breathing and you talk about organizing. And sometimes that feels beyond us. Like we don't know where to start. And I have I'm a kindergarten princess, but I have a silly process that when I'm overwhelmed to clean something because I've let it go too long, that I will start in a corner. And that's my question always. Where's my corner? What corner am I going to go to and spend 15 minutes? And I'm not going to look at anything else in the room. I'm just going to go to that corner and start working there. And before I know it, an hour has passed and I've cleaned the whole thing.
I think you're talking about compartmentalizing, and I think that that's a beautiful thing. Like, I'll deal with just a small area. In a spiritual aspect, that I share that same concept, that just look 200 feet in front of you, and that's all you have to step into. And then you step into another 200 feet. Don't look at the whole room and just say, oh, I'll never be able to clean this. I love what you said. Just take one area at a time, and before you know it, you're on to the next room.
Yes. Well, because I think it changes us. Like, I think it changes when we see that little bit of victory and that little bitty accomplishment, it drives us to the next one. It helps us have energy and momentum to go on and do something else.
That actually changes the chemistry in your brain. By celebrating those little successes, your brain. So I think that's why you're propelled to move forward, because the chemistry of your brain is actually changing when that happens. Well, Jodi, I hate to say this, but we're way past time. And as usual, I don't want to end this conversation, but I can't tell you thank you enough for coming on to Kickbutt Leadership. You've become a really glowing light both of our lives. And I can't wait to see you in person here next week or something soon.
I'll help you have a soft landing back into Las Vegas, Connie.
Okay, that sounds great. That sounds really great. Well, I'm Coni Meyers with Kickbutt Leadership.
I'm your co-host, Kim White with the My Sexy Business team.
This is the Kickbutt Leadership Facebook Live conference. If you'd like to hear more about purpose and about breathing and about organization, you can find it in the Kickbutt Leadership course on the website, kickbuttleadership.com. There's actually a free assessment you can take, and then there's also a special offer for the course. So, Jodi, thank you again. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
We'll be back at noon Central Standard Time.
Yes.